Lights max loading plays like he's drawn the plan. Kinetik bringing fire like he's leading the band. No matter the game, no matter the sport, we running this pod like it's fourth and short. Press start, locked in, it's game time again. You tune in live to the sideline show with Kinetik and Lights Max. Let's go, the gamer sideline starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gamer's Sideline, where sports meet the sticks and stories get pixel deep. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Lichmax, and over here with me, we got...
Eric, a.k.a. Kinetik 615.
Oh, we have quite the exciting show lined up for you guys. As you know, or may not know, we just had some information drop about the title update that's coming to College Football 26 tomorrow, September 11th. This update, it's packed with gameplay tweaks, pass protection tuning, coverage logic fixes, and yes, some exciting audio updates to enhance your game day experience. Let's jump right into it. First up, we got the gameplay tuning and pass protection. We got pass protection and pass rush. EA has added a brand new option, something that probably should have been in the game from the beginning, in my opinion. The base protection by default. This gives you the power to turn off built-in protections on passing plays. If you prefer manual control, this setting lets you keep things clean until you manually tweak protection schemes via the pass protection menu. What do you think about that so far?
I mean, I think it's fine to have the option there. I personally haven't had a problem with it as is, so I don't know how. Like, I see a lot of people saying that it's like a much needed option. I think it's an option, but I haven't experienced the much needed part.
Well, one of the issues that I've seen, specifically looking at the gameplay that Old Man on the Sticks, shout out to him, check his channel out if you have time, has been experiencing is if you don't fix the protection, a lot of times it lets people through that it normally shouldn't let through. If you know what I mean. Like sometimes, like you'll come out in like a play action and the shading will be to the opposite side that the blitz is actually coming off of. So it'll end up getting an instantaneous sack on you when you could have just, if you were paying attention or put yourself in base protection, it would have picked it up. That's been my experience.
But the thing about it though is that every protection scheme, whether it's base or the ones that are built into the plays, every protection scheme is going to have holes. Like there's not a perfect protection scheme in football. So like if you just go with base protection, all that means is that each of the blockers are blocking the guy directly in front of them.
Right.
But so like we've talked on previous shows about your concerns with stunts and twists, right?
Absolutely.
Being overpowered. Baseline, base protection is going to get shredded by stunts and twists. And with the AI logic using stunts and twists with the plays that have stunts and twists built in, you're basically taking away your offensive line's ability to adapt and adjust to what the defense is showing and making them solely stick to their default, the guy right in front of them adjustment. So like either way you shake it, if you were having problems with the built-in play ones against the some of the base plays or the overload blitzes and stuff like that, you're going to have better protection on those, but you're opening yourself up to other parts that are actually a highlight of this year's game. So I don't like, it's fine. It should be an option. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't see it as this like magical remedy, because all you're doing is shifting where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, but the weaknesses are still going to get exploited.
Well, I don't see it as like a magical remedy, but like and 9 times out of 10, like a lot of times the base protection is going to be perfectly fine over whatever the play wants to put you in. So like having the option to just have it be base protection by default, I think is going to help a lot with like players who don't have time to like shift the protection to fix certain holes that they're seeing. Whereas if you start from base, it's a lot easier just to kind of like shift if you need to, rather than forcing the shift.
I know me personally, with my custom defensive book that relies heavily on stunts, twists, and simulated pressures, dude, I hope people go against me putting their offensive line in base protection. Like, please do that.
I mean, I've had better luck in base than I have in the default shading that the offensive line does. But that's just my personal experience. But anyway, so we got Mad Dog here. Oh, you already pulled it up.
Yeah.
I can't read. Bad Dog.
So he said,
I'll let you read it.
Says that's a good point. The lineman should be protecting gaps on pass plays. It should not be man assigned. That's the issue with the coding of the game, sadly. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm going to shift my line either way, regardless, every offensive play, because I'm used to it, and I don't want to just get like say, oh, I'm just going to put them in base and hope they pick up the blocks. Like, I'm going to actually try to figure out where they're coming from, read the defense, and shift correctly. Like I said, I'm not mad about it. I think it should be an option. I just don't think it really fixes anything.
I mean, it does kind of fix it for like the quick snap plays, because a lot of those, like, you're not going to have enough time to really, like, if you're not somebody that sets up stunts and twists before the play, it's going to be extremely helpful to just be in base protection from the get-go, and then if you have to do a quick adjustment, then you have that option rather than being forced to do it.
I will say this: if you're going to put your offensive line in base protection, you probably don't want to be doing a lot of hot routing, because you're giving your opponents time to set up stunts and twists. If you're going to set your offensive line in base protection, you're going to want to be doing a lot of quick snaps, so that they can't set that stuff up.
Yeah, and that's where that comes into play. But I mean, AEA also has tackled some other troublesome bugs, like the blocking protection UI won't randomly appear anymore. The offensive line won't slide on intentionally when using the on-target defender mechanic, and defenders acting weird in 4-man fronts. Those are sorted too.
Yeah. So,
plus you'll notice better behavior from defensive tackles, especially near the goal line when QBs scramble, and reduced unnecessary target swapping in empty pass protections. Also, fewer illegal man downfield penalties, thank God, and more accurate pass set depths against nickel single mug, right exit 2-man stunts. These all add up to tighter, more realistic blocking and rush dynamics.
I will say this, and my opinion on this has sort of changed over the last couple months. Like, people that play this game, they want pass blocking and run blocking to be perfect, and they have this idea that perfect blocking is realistic. If you've been watching college football the last couple weeks, and even NFL football the last couple weeks, I'm starting to believe that the way the pass blocking and run blocking are in the games right now is actually closer to real life than what it seems like a lot of players want the blocking to be like in game. For example, I saw a clip of the Ravens Bills game the other night, and it was one of the scrambles that Lamar did. But whoever number 77 is on the Ravens, bro, He looked as lost as I've ever seen any offensive lineman on the game. He snaps the ball, looks left, that guy's already covered, looks right, that guy got around him, he spins around, tries to get to him, he's out of the way, he turns around, doesn't block a single person, but just look completely lost. And like that kind of stuff happens way more than I think people want to admit in real life football. But they want the game blocking to be perfect. And like I get it because like I get frustrated too when I'm playing and they miss a block and I'm like, what the hell? And I go into the instant replay and I'm like, how did you not do that? But like, to be honest, it's kind of realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty close to realistic, especially like if you don't have if your players on the game don't have a high awareness stat, you're gonna suffer the consequences of that, and you
Yeah.
rightly should. But like a lot of these players, they just want like both sides of the ball to be like you said, they want them to be perfect. They want like 5 seconds in the pocket, and then they also want when they're on defense, their pass rush to just immediately break
Well,
through like it's a screen pass every single time. Like that's not realistic.
and I
Like
also think
you
that
might
there's a
get one
shift
guy
in
free and
football.
clear. You might get one guy free and clear, or you might, or like for one play, your O line might just block, like actually like decide to do their jobs properly and block everyone the correct way. It's not
Well,
something that's going to happen every play either.
I think we've also seen a shift in football over the last like 5 to 10 years. If you go back 20 years, like offensive line were usually the ones dominating defensive lines, and the defensive. So when you had a star defensive lineman, it was so rare. Now it's almost flip flopped. Like look, if you look in the NFL, for example, there's like 5 to 7 on each side at the tackle position that are like elite tackles, and
Yeah,
less than that, probably like 3 to 5 elite guards and centers in the entire league. And the rest of the teams, you look at them, and they're starting offensive linemen that are just like not at the same level as their defensive line counterparts. Like you look at how many really good defensive linemen there are, and I mean, just as an example, my Vikings, right? We upgraded the interior of the line. Last year,
yeah,
we started Blake Brandell, Ed Ingram, and Garrett Bradbury. Garrett Bradbury is now starting for the Patriots, and they believe they upgraded from their last center. I'm telling you, Garrett Bradbury is not a good starting center. But like
now
the
to be
number of
fair,
teams that
real
have
quick,
good
hang on,
centers is so little.
real quick. So I will say it's an upgrade for one simple fact: the last center caused at least 3 fumbles last season because he didn't match the snap count
Bro, Garrett
of the
Bradbury
quarterback.
every game last year in the Vikings for the Vikings, at least 1 to 3 times in a game, would literally get pushed into his own quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
yeah, and I get that.
my point is that there's probably 3 teams in the country and the NFL that have a really good center. And as far as like matching up to the defensive linemen in the country,
Yeah,
the rest they don't. Ed Ingram is starting for the Houston Texans, and they think he's an upgrade. They were horrible for us last year, but that just shows you how weak the offensive line, especially the interior offensive line, is in the country. And on the flip side, like I said, there's you can find at least one, and in many cases multiple star defensive linemen on pretty much every team in the country.
right. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a shift, and the only I think the only exception has to be like last year's Eagles Super Bowl team. Like they had stars on both sides.
And I just think that that's how we've shifted to more athletic defensive linemen and the need for more athletic offensive linemen to keep up, and it's just not there.
Right.
But
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Yeah. So the
So
next thing we got to talk about is the coverage improvements. Uh, so coverage tuning. EA has fine-tuned hook defenders. Oh, sorry. Has fine-tuned hook defender behavior. Underneath coverage now plays at around 5 yards, while over the top is set between 12 to 18 yards. They've also patched the vertical hook zones so that it won't trigger when using custom zone stems or coaching adjustments for those tricky swing routes. from the far side or behind the line. The 3-rec hook match logic now handles them more efficiently or effectively. Sorry. And if you call press at the line of scrimmage, defenders will now actually match the intent. No more mismatches. Finally, cover 9 logic. Oh, sorry. No more mismatches. Finally, cover 9 logic has been updated so the 3-rec hook defender does a better job handling running backs crossing the field.
Yep.
I think that's all good stuff. I'm glad they fixed that shit because a lot of that was annoying as hell.
Yeah, I agree. And then for catching, catching, they also fixed an issue allowing receivers to hang on to too many passes instead of getting the ball knocked out in traffic. I don't like this. Like, one of the biggest calling cards of this year's games is that your receivers, like in previous year's games, you literally had to have like a 5 to 10 yard separation on the DBs in order to even have a chance to come down with that ball. Contested catches didn't happen in the games hardly ever, especially when you look at real life. This year's games, it finally felt like when the receiver and the DBs are battling for the ball, like it's a literal battle. Like when you throw the ball up, you can throw up jump balls and have at least enough of a hope that your receiver can come down with it to want to throw them up there. I don't think this was an issue. I think they just gave in to people complaining because they couldn't cheese the defensive lurks anymore.
So here's the issue that I've seen when it comes to those jump balls. 9 times out of 10, like when you throw a jump ball, if your receiver gets breathed on too hard, he drops that shit. That's been my experience when it comes to throwing those jump balls. Like,
right.
It's like as if you're not within 5 steps after the jump ball, and a DB breathes on your receiver too hard, he drops it.
Right, and that's how it used to be. And this year they fixed that, but now this is saying they're going back the other way. Like, I don't like that.
I'm saying that that's something that I haven't been experiencing from this year's game.
Right, and but even if you haven't been experiencing that, this is still going back the other way. Like, it's compounding the problem that you're talking about. Like,
right.
This is crazy. Like, the catching was absolutely fine. In my opinion, I think the catching actually should have been turned up a little bit more, to what you're saying. And here they're going backwards, but we'll see what happens. But it says tuning to reduce chances of contest midair hit from behind animation. Thank God. I've complained about that stupid animation every time. It's retarded. It needs to be taken out of both games. The ball? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The one, yeah.
Improves some
animation too.
Right.
It looks like they're literally breaking your back because they fold like a folding chair.
And here's a change I've heard you complain about a couple times in league play for the leagues that we play in. Improved some situations where collisions with the wide receiver at the snap would disrupt the time of the route.
Yeah, that is annoying. That is incredibly annoying. And
all right, now this is awesome.
Even if you yourself compensate for that, the game coding still forces you to throw at the timing spot rather than where the receiver actually is.
Yeah,
which is annoying.
Now this is awesome.
That's something if you're saying that's something they fixed, I'm glad they fixed that.
Well, they said they fixed some situations. They didn't fix it completely, but
I mean, it's still better.
It's probably kind of hard to really address that in every situation because, like, what do? Do you code it so that if they bump into somebody, then they get some kind of speed boost to get back on the route? That you do that too much. You do that too much, and it could cause problems with separation with the DBs. So it's probably like a really complex issue to try to fix. But I appreciate that they're trying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're at least thinking about it.
Right. So all right. So playbook content added new odd ghost defensive formation to 3-3-5 and 3-2-6 playbooks. Corrected poor wide receiver spacing and awkward motion animations across multiple formations. Fixed missing play action animations in specific plays. Resolved issues with the jet reverse pass being unthrowable when flipped. If that's what I think it is, then I'm happy for that. So In my playbook, I do run a few trick plays, double passes, reverse flea flickers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the jet reverse pass in Wildcat, unbalanced, I think, works fine in practice as of right now. But in a game, I had to literally unrate it in my playing book. It's the only play in my playbook that's unrated because when you went to use it in a game, when it would give it back to the quarterback, you can't throw. It's just a run play.
Yeah.
So
And,
it was a bad glitch. And if this is what they're talking about, which it sounds like, then that's definitely a good fix.
As a side note, though, I do like a genuine question.
What's up?
Why are you rating Wildcat plays? Those are situational. They shouldn't be rated.
First of all, they're rated very low. They're rated very specific situations, so they should not happen often at all. They're all of the plays in my books are rated between 1 and 4 stars for the situations. I don't have a Wildcat. Well, I think I have 2 Wildcat plays that are rated 1 star, and the rest of them are rated half a star. And they're very specific situations, like goal line, go for 2.
The way that I would do that, and I
whatever.
wouldn't even rate anything Wildcat or your trick plays. I would just put them in favorites.
Yes, but you don't play sim. I play sim leagues where I'm not controlling them, and if a play's not rated, it won't call it.
Right. I don't want to see people calling trick plays anyway. They never do them right.
Well, no, but the way I have them rated, in every situation, I'm not one of those cheese players in simulation where I set up my book where it's only got 4 to 6 plays rated for every situation. I literally have, in my offensive book, I have over 300 plays, and every play is rated for 1 to 4 situations. And every play is rated, like I said, between 1 and 4 stars. So, let's say, for example, that I have one of the popular ones, the unbalanced Wildcat jet touch pass. I have that rated for goal line, right? It's half a star or 1 star, and it's in that group, in that situation. I've got 63 plays that are all rated for that situation, and most of them are rated higher. So when the computer goes to the goal line, it's very rare that it will call that play, but it will get called at times. So, remove duplicate plays and corrected button mappings. Addressed illegal formations caused by tight end motion in various sets. Turned flexbone option play speed for tuned flexbone option play speed. Why is that hard to say? Tuned flexbone option play speed for consistency across handedness. Corrected RPO peak glance behavior to match intended logic, and fixed auto motion receiver collisions with the QB.
Oh, that's definitely good. I've had that happen a couple of times, especially on the boomerang routes and the orbit routes, where they'll just run into the quarterback and then just stop, and then the play just won't go off.
Now, in the run game, they also made some fixes. They enabled QB juke moves for halfbacks and wide receivers when in Wildcat formations. Fixed an issue where quarterback speed burst was not working as intended. Tuned power shed frequency and improved edge leverage behavior on outside runs. Fixed a rare issue where the center's initial movement was incorrect at the snap. Fixed an issue where sometimes an inside zone handoff was using the outside zone handoff animation. All good fixes.
Yeah, all good fixes. I don't like the giving more tools to the defense, but I mean it's whatever.
All right, alignment and formation logic. Resolve defensive front flipping and zone art crossing during hurry up scenarios. Fixed an issue causing an outside linebacker to stack behind the middle linebacker when reacting to tight end motion. Fixed alignment
I've had that happen. That was extremely annoying.
Fixed alignment of play art in nickel over cover 3 sky. Tuned defensive tackle alignment logic to prevent stacking in specific play combos. Updated AI defense.
I feel like they could have just combined that statement with the previous statement of the linebacker stacking.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right.
I get I get
It's a
one is
different
in
position, but it's the
response.
same issue.
I get one is in response to emotion, but at the end of the day, it's just essentially the same fix. You're just preventing the stacking. That's all you had to say. You didn't have to add in during motion. Like you could have just put it all in one statement there, like fixed linebacker stacking in both regular play and in response to motion. That's all. Like that's what you could have done.
Right. All right,
At
and
least it
then
was spelled correctly.
see, updated AI defense logic to properly align over outside receivers and goal line sets.
That's
Which
good.
is
That's
yeah,
been an
that
issue
was
too,
that was a huge issue
would-
because you would have
where-
wide receivers completely uncovered at goal line.
Yeah, because like if you're in a goal line set, they would just all line up tight, and there'd be a receiver off on his own, out in no man's land out there, on either the right or the left side, and nobody'd be there. Snap the ball, somebody would try to make it there, but you can snap and quick throw before a defender gets out there.
Now, this one says fix duplicate jersey numbers for offensive linemen on the field. For hot routes and audibles, they had some fixes. Updated logic so the offense cannot instantly flip the play or audible when walking to the line from the huddle. Tuning to better balance hot route timing between elite and lower rated QBs. So basically, your higher rated QBs and ones with dev traits are going to be able to hot route a little bit faster. Dev Note updated the delay for consistency between all quarterbacks regardless of the animation they triggered. Some animations would take longer time to finish and would inhibit a user's ability to quickly make adjustments. Now all quarterbacks have the same time delay in between adjustments.
That's good.
Tuning to hot route time delay time. Tuning to hot route time delay time. What? Whatever. I'm just going to read it. Tuning to hot route time delay time to make the timing and under center formations more consistent with gun and pistol. Does anybody understand that? Like, I've read it 3 times and it sounds like I'm reading gibberish. Tuning to hot route time delay time to make timing. What?
They're adjusting the hot route delay time to better match with the way the play is ran.
See, even you had to like make sure you were reading it right mid-sentence though. Like that. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway. Fixed an issue allowing the offense to rapidly hot route after pass blocking the running back, and resize the UI indicator for audibles to appropriate scale. Had a couple quick changes to run defense, tuned assignment flow consistency between RPO alert keys and peak logic, added logic for edges to play the QB on boot naked runs when in a contain assignment. Good, because I like literally never put my edges on contained because of that.
Oh, I always put my edges on contained. It works out 9 times out of 10.
I just usually put a linebacker on it because I was tired of that happening. Passing resolved freeform passing reticle snapping back to initial location. Is that the problem I was having when I was trying to do that stupid drill on Madden?
Yeah.
Because it kept wanting to like move back.
Yes.
Okay, I need that fix on Madden if I'm going to do that stupid bucket drop challenge. All right. Signature animations and celebrations. Some of them were fixed. Address secure catch animations being interrupted by touchdown post play. Corrected get up animations for user controlled players post throw. Tuned hand alignment and celebration animations. That one is actually, I've experienced that recently where like sometimes I'd hit the animation where you like points at the crowd with like the hand that's got the ball and like
the ball would just teleport to the other.
Well, the ball would be like stuck to his forearm while he's like pointing at. It was weird.
I mean, I've had it where like he'd do the ball point to the crowd, and the ball would just teleport to his other hand instead.
Right. Fixed quarterback hitching during post play animations. AI logic and coaching adjustments. Tuned AI defensive play calling to avoid prevent in 2-minute drill. This stuff right here is huge for the Sim League crowd. So they basically avoid calling prevent in 2-minute drill before it's needed. Updated the AI logic to avoid avoid goal line defenses versus 4 receiver sets. So this combined with wherever that issue was, where they in goal line sets where they literally were not covering the wide receiver was ridiculous. Like sometimes with the AI, like in sim games, you would watch your defense going goal line set at like the 50-yard line against a 4-receiver set that the offense was running. It was stupid. And then added safety coaching adjustment depth option to 16 yards, which I think before you could set it to like 20, 25, and 32. And there was another there was like 8 and 10. So they added 16 yards and then corrected spelling of wide receiver in the substitution screen. I didn't even notice that.
I didn't even notice that either. But I mean, it's good that at least the game is correcting its spelling, even if Campus Huddle doesn't.
Right. Special teams improved lead blocker decision making on kick returns, adjusted kick returner alignment to ensure
Now,
reachability on onside kicks.
Pause real quick on that one. So they fixed the AI logic on the lead blocker. Is that what you said?
Improved lead blocker decision making on kick returns.
That is huge. That is huge. This is why. Have you ever been on a kick return? I know it doesn't happen very often, but have you ever been on a kick return? You're running behind your lead blocker, and your lead blocker looks like he's about to block the one guy in your way. But instead, he just says, nope, and gets the guy behind him.
I specifically 90% of the time will just let the fucking kick go through the end zone because I don't want to experience that. But I experience it on run plays all the fucking time.
So I've experienced this where I've tried to run tried to make a kick return because I seen a light. It was light on the left side of the field. So I was like, oh man, I can do this. So I start running, following my lead blocker the whole way. We're coming up to our first issue. There's a defender running downfield at going straight to the lead blocker. In a world where things make sense, you would think lead blocker is going to pick that block up. You would anticipate lead blocker is going to pick that block up. I don't have to adjust where I'm running to. Lead blocker got that. What's the lead blocker do? He thinks, should I cover that guy? Should I block him? And his decision making goes, nah, guy behind him is more of a threat. Runs directly like a bubble around the guy that's running straight at him. Picks up the guy 5 yards behind him, who's not even at risk of hitting me, and that defender runs downhill and tackles me at the 25-yard line. Whereas I could have gotten to like the 45-yard line had he picked that block up. This hopefully is fixing that particular issue. If you have been playing and you've experienced that issue that I just described, let us know if you have experienced. Let us know tomorrow. Come back, comment on this video, and let us know tomorrow after the patch drops if that issue was fixed. Because I am particularly interested in knowing if that is an issue still or not. You may continue.
Yep. So, all right. So now we have some fixed issues for Dynasty mode, which is 99% of what I play in the game. So we fixed an issue where complimentary and competitive visits would not show properly in off-season recruiting. Fixed an issue.
So I don't know about that one yet.
Fixed an issue where the encouraged transfers spreadsheet was auto-sorting by speed. That was annoying. Fixed an issue in encouraged transfers where the roster size counter would display incorrectly after viewing a player card. So that I've experienced. You just had to back out and go back into it. Basically, you know how you have the little counter up there that tells you you're at, 95 over 85 or whatever? The 95 would just disappear, and it would just be blank /85, and you couldn't see it. You had to back out. So that's a quality of life fix. Fixed an issue where players were not earning enough XP when manual progression was set to on.
Thank God. Thank flipping God. I'm glad.
Well, I mean, that was easy enough to get by as long. So what that issue was is that during the season, if you had the XP penalty, manual progression XP penalty set to anything above 0, you didn't get any experience throughout the season. It was easy enough to get around that just to set it to 0 during the season, then just switch it to whatever you want in the off season. But it's good that they fixed it. Fixed an issue where off-season visits were not giving enough influence. So there were multiple issues with visits in the off season to the point where I just wasn't using them. in the transfer portal. I just was not using visits.
I rarely use visits anyway, unless I absolutely have to.
Well, they're really good, but in the off season, like you literally weren't getting hardly any influence. When you were getting the influence, you were getting them 1 and 2 weeks after the week that they were there. And it was just it was stupid. But fixed an issue in training results where 2 users in an online dynasty couldn't manually progress players at the same time. That's huge. In all the dynasties that I'm in, the leagues that I'm in, we would literally have to say, hey, I'm going in to do recruiting, and then everyone else would have to wait, or not recruiting, but training, and then everyone else would have to wait until they were done, and then you'd have to go one at a time, because basically what was happening, if you and I both were in there at the same time upgrading our players, let's for whatever reason, if you and I both hit an upgrade on a player within a short enough time from each other, it would basically lock us up. The background of the screen would turn to the background on my screen would turn to your team, or vice versa, and you would have to back out and go back in to be able to do anything.
Dude, I haven't experienced
it was
that
stupid.
either, but I think I might be the only one doing manual upgrades in the league that I run.
Fixed an issue where playing style stats were not calculating correctly for some positions. Again,
Thank
there
God.
were multiple do issues with this, which they do go over as we go through here.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue where
I've been experiencing that myself, because like, how do I have a running back and a quarterback wanting to transfer when I have been 50-50 splitting running and passing the ball? It does not make any sense to me.
Yeah. All right, so fix an issue where the team needs module was double counting signed players at each position. Again, this is for the playing time deal breaker. It was affecting. This is why you would have players randomly drop from a in playing time to an F out of nowhere, because it was so playing time takes into account multiple things. It takes into account snap counts. It takes into account depth chart position. It takes into account projected depth chart position next season with players that are leaving. It takes into account how many players are currently on the roster at that position and players that you're currently recruiting at that position. And in some cases, it was counting double. It was for when it wasn't supposed to, and that's why you would randomly get locked out for playing time. Improved logic around the playing time deal breakers when other players at the position enter the pro draft. So again, with that last one, it also was not correctly adjusting the playing time for players that had entered the draft, but technically don't get taken off your roster until National Signing Day.
Right.
It was still counting them on your roster during the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's definitely crazy. Like,
yeah, because then even when you needed to replace them, you couldn't, because it was counting them as still on your roster for purposes of the deal breaker.
Right.
All right. Fix an issue that caused incorrect playing time grades to display for the school that a player left in the transfer portal due to playing time. So again, it was still counting players that transferred out on your roster until National Signing Day. Fix an issue where career records broken included stats earned at a different school. That was annoying. Like, I forget what player it was, but I literally brought in like a senior player in the transfer portal, and after game 1 broke my school record for whatever, because it counted his stats for the last 4 seasons at the other school.
I mean, I'm sure it probably looks good for like awards at the end of the season, at least.
Well, yeah, it looks good, but it was dumb, because he had like it's like he could have like 1 sack in a game at your school, and it would count the 150 sacks or whatever. That's a stupid number, but it would count the 45 sacks he got over the last 3 years at the previous school, and if that was higher than any of your career sacks at your school previously, he just broke the record, even though he's only had 1 sack in your team's uniform.
Right.
All right. Okay, so fix an issue that caused scheduled visits in the offseason to process a week later than they should. Fix an issue where you could see deal breakers of players on another user's team in Online Dynasty. Increase the size of a player's season health pool at the start of the next season. Note the size of the player health pool is still determined based on how full it is at the end of the season. This change makes the size more forgiving if a player uses most of their current year health. This is huge. I'm going to give you an anecdote experience that I had and why I've had to drastically adjust the wear and tear down on every league that I run. In one of the sim leagues that I'm in, it's a Power 4 sim league where you could pick regular teams, like any team, right?
Right.
I've got USC. I joined in year 2. The guy that has Michigan in year 1, it's a great barometer. I know I'm a Michigan fan. That's not why I'm using them as a barometer. It's just what happened, what came up in that league. It's a great barometer on your wear and tear as far as the season and career stuff, because you have Bryce Underwood starting from day 1 as a freshman with full bars. So like you can clearly see from a player who starts with full everything and starts from day 1 how much impact you're having. And like the game wear and tear is fine, but like in this league, he was like 8 games into the second season, and Bryce Underwood's entire career bar was completely depleted. And so effectively that his career was ruined halfway through his second season. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
that was insane. And there's currently no option to keep wear and tear on, but turn off the career bar, which I wish there was. So what I ended up having to do was drastically reduce the wear and tear damage sliders, and at the same time maxed out the week to week healing. And I bumped the healing pool up to like in-game healing pool up to like 75 because it was absolutely ridiculous. So I'm glad they're trying to make adjustments to that.
Just give us an option to turn off career. That's all they had to do.
I agree. The game would be perfect as far as wear and tear goes if you had the option to turn off the career bar.
Right. Like
why are we forced to keep that on?
Like you can keep the season bar on. That's fine, but turn off the career bar.
100%. But all right. Fix an exploit allowing you to have multiple visits with the same recruit. Fix an issue, and so what that was is people were exploiting. Basically, they would set a visit, have the recruit on a visit. The next week, remove him off your board, add him back to your board, offer him another scholarship, and then because he's already in top 5 and you're in the top 5, you could schedule another visit. So they fixed that.
Oh, that's good.
Fixed an issue where defensive tackle did not appear in the wear and tear auto subs menu. Fixed an issue where the trophy room team banner would not properly update to the current school. Fixed an issue where completion showed as 0 in the post-game box score. Updated the Jim Thorpe Award to be the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award. Fixed an issue where you could not uncheck ready to advance in an online dynasty. Weekly summary will now show when a player is visiting in the current week. And updated the SMU field to grass. One thing that I really wish they would fix, and I don't understand why they haven't fixed it. We're in the second year of a game where in the first year we had Travis Hunter win the freaking Heisman, right?
Yeah.
It is absolutely a detriment to your team to run a player 2 ways. First of all, for wear and tear. Second of all, and this is the bigger issue for me.
Especially with career wear and tear, too.
Well, okay, but here's the bigger issue. And again, anecdote time. The basic issue is that it does not record stats for a 2-way player on the side of the ball that is not his listed position. And that's not just I want to be able to keep records of the stats. Let me give you the anecdote. I had a rebuild that I did with Tulane, and I brought in Coy Parrish from Minnesota after year 1. He is a 2-way player. For Minnesota, he will play safety and receiver, and I believe he also plays corner for them, depending on the defense. In the game, first of all, I couldn't put a safety to play 2 ways, so I had to move him to corner in order for him to play receiver as well. He was my best receiver and my best corner, okay? I'm sitting there advancing through the season, having a great time with him. And all of a sudden, I get locked out of like 7 recruits for playing style. Not just receivers, but offensive linemen as well. That deal breaker was based on playing style. And their playing style deal breaker is based on average yards per game. I was like, what is going on? I go and look at it, and my average yards per game had a number that was like 600 yards, or not. It was like, it wasn't that. It was like 200. Anyway, effectively, the number that it was counting for my average yards per game was not counting. It was counting less than half of my actual team receiving yards, because the game was not registering any receiving yards or receptions that Coy Parrish was getting as a wide receiver. So for the purposes of my recruiting, those recruits were getting locking me out because they were seeing less than half of my actual recruiting or receiving yards. It's a detriment to your team to play both ways. And I don't understand why 3 months into the second year of the game, where we've had standout two-way players in real life, that you can't somehow code the game to count stats for every player, regardless of what side of the ball they're on.
Yeah, that is insane. I don't know why that is so difficult. It's like you're literally just counting numbers that occur in the game. Like you're
Right.
counting you're already counting the numbers. You just gotta,
yeah, like I don't even
actually
care.
put them in.
I don't even care about being able to look and see how many yards he has. But for it to affect recruiting, where they're just flat out ignoring the stats, is insane. And the fact that it hasn't been fixed in a year, in 15 months of this game being out, is nuts. Anyway, fixed an issue. So now we're moving to Road to Glory. Fixed an issue where the user player would be randomly subbed out of game due to fatigue. Added a new NIL deal with Chipotle. Fixed an issue where sacks were not giving negative tape scores during highlight moments. Added a confirmation pop-up when quitting a high school moment. Disabled illegal touching penalty in Road to Glory high school gameplay.
I think that's what.
Now there's a ton of fixes here for Ultimate Team. I don't think we should necessarily go over it. I'm just gonna, for our viewers that are interested, I'm gonna scroll through it. I'll pause at each thing. Feel free to pause the video and read through this. But neither Lich nor I really play college Ultimate Team. So I'm just going to pause here for people that can want to read through them. And then I know, Lich, you do play Road to College Football, so we'll go out for this. Road to College Football Playoffs.
There's a lot of people that play it that I'm sure are going to find this video, so it might be worth it to go through it. Yeah,
absolutely. So, all right. So making some important changes to the ranked point system in the Road to College Football Playoffs to improve competition and ensure a more fair playoff experience for everyone. Such as increased rank point gains. Players will now earn more rank points overall, especially in the lower ranges of each division. Adjusted starting ranks to balance the increased points to balance the increased point gains. The starting rank for all divisions except All-American and Heisman will be lower. This prevents scenarios where players could reach the playoffs with a losing record in lower divisions. Division rank adjustments. If you're currently in one of the affected divisions, your rank may be moved down to reflect the new starting points until you begin your next season. Lich, do you want to read the next one? I need to take a drink.
I cannot see it, to be honest.
No problem. Improve playoff qualifications. Yeah, these changes ensure that strong performance is rewarded.
Remember, I'm on my phone, so everything's a lot smaller.
No, you're fine. These changes ensure that strong performance is rewarded, especially in higher divisions. Previously, playing mostly Tier 1 matchups could make it difficult to reach the playoffs, even with a great record. Win modifiers matter more. The base rank points for a win are increased, making modifiers like away wins or victories as a lower tier team even more valuable. No change to win requirements. The number of wins needed to move up or stay in a division remains the same. And more time to compete based on player feedback. We are making all Road to College Football Playoff games 4-minute quarters 4 minutes a quarter versus 3 minutes, so that you have enough time to overcome home field advantage.
Wait, you say that they upped it from 3 to 4?
Yes.
That is huge. That puts it in line with the Ultimate teams because they run 4-minute quarters. So I'm glad they did that because that was incredibly annoying. Because like if you got behind at any point, it was incredibly difficult to actually be able to claw your way back to the lead in a quarter. Because theoretically, if somebody wanted to, they could throw a shoot clock and run out multiple quarters at a time without even scoring.
Yep.
And that's one issue that we had that like we wanted to avoid in the leagues in like the actual like dynasties that we run because that was an issue that we experienced.
That's the main reason I for my leagues this year I upped the quarter length from 6 to 7 minutes, and I tried to go rules light, but I had to institute last year the chew clock and the chew clock rules that you could only do it in the final 3 minutes of the first half and the final quarter of the game.
Right, yeah, because otherwise somebody could just like run the clock out through the game and maybe score like once a quarter.
Right. And then all right, so then equipment bros, good and bad news. You get new equipment, you're still not getting the leg sleeve ski masks and hanging mouth guards. Sorry. New equipment pieces, 6 new Axiom masks, the Adidas Ultra Boost Mono cleats, and the Adidas Addy Zero Electric 2 Exotic Speed cleats have been added to the game. Additionally, new uniforms and uniform pieces for schools, Air Force Space Force alternate uniform, Central Michigan University sleeve numbers. I love the Space Force. I want to play with Air Force now. East Carolina University, the purple Fleck helmet. I love it. FIU Vice City 2023 uniform. I love it as someone who plays as all 3 of these teams in different dynasties right now. I love that. Fresno State got their camouflage helmet. They also got their white USA helmet. Mississippi State gets their 2023 throwback uniform, their black alternate uniform, and their white interlocking helmet. Old Dominion gets their blue helmet. Oregon State gets their camouflage uniforms. Sam Houston State gets their new home jersey. San Diego State University gets new home and away uniforms. They already have one of the best helmets in the game. I'm going to be excited to see what their new home and away uniforms are.
The Aztecs?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I love their helmets. Those things are dope.
Yep. And then University of Alabama, Birmingham, UAB gets new home and away uniforms. University of Cal, the Golden Bears get paw print helmets. University of Kansas gets their blue and white alternate uniforms. Blue alternate uniform, white alternate uniform. ULM gets their black alternate helmet. Nebraska gets their black uniforms and their black shirts from 2020 uniform.
I know one Nebraska fan who will be excited about that.
New Mexico gets a couple of new upgrades here. They get new home and away uniforms. They get their red Lobo script helmet, their turquoise alternate uniform, and their white Lobo script helmet. University of Virginia gets their Stars and Stripes helmet. University of Washington gets their 2022 white and gold set, and they get their throwback uniform. Western Michigan gets bumpers. I don't know what that means.
That's the like the part that goes on top of the helmet and the back of the helmet.
Gotcha. And then names now appear on the New Mexico State Aggies crimson, black, and white jerseys.
I didn't even
They've
know
also
that was
added,
but I also don't play with that team.
they've also added drumline and band covers for more songs to the menu music. Now, I personally don't recognize any of these songs, but some of our viewers might. So they've added band covers of the songs Money Trees, Misery Business, Get Lucky, Closer, What You Know, $1 Million Baby, No Hands, Espresso, Apple, and One Too Many.
So
they've also
so Misery Business, that's Paramore.
Gotcha.
Closer, that's the Chainsmokers. I don't remember the other ones you said, but those are
Money
the two that I know off the
Trees,
top of my
Get
head.
Lucky, What You Know, $1 Million
Get
Baby,
Lucky,
No Hands.
I believe, is Bruno Mars.
$1 Million Baby, No Hands, Espresso, Apple, and One Too Many.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of those, and I think Get Lucky is Bruno Mars, but if I'm wrong, correct me in the chat.
Now they have also added new commentary intros for 56 rivalry games, 15 new stadium light shows, 10 anticipated matchups for the new 2025 college football season, and this includes for teams for rivalries such as Michigan and Ohio State, Army and Navy, Florida and Georgia, Oregon and Washington, Kansas State, Boise State, Fresno State, Oklahoma State, or Georgia and Texas, Oregon and Penn State, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and many more.
I forgot that Texas A&M and Notre Dame had a rivalry.
Yeah, I did too. Doesn't
But
matter.
then
They
again-
flaked out on their biggest rivalry. So
I know. Like, how are you gonna lose 45-19 and then go crying back to South Bend and then never come back? That's crazy.
right. But yeah, so that's the end of it. So what are your thoughts on the patch that's coming tomorrow?
I'm excited for a lot of these fixes. I think a lot of them were much needed. Definitely a lot of those coverage changes and those offensive line changes. Those think were definitely needed from the start of the game. I'm glad they're finally fixing them. But the playbook fixes definitely needed as well. Hopefully that kind of fixes the issue, at least comes closer to fixing the issue that we've been having with custom playbooks and stock playbooks with the AI coach suggestions. I mean, I know anytime you mix AI into things, you usually have a lot of tweaking to do before you get it working correctly. I mean, even when using any kind of an AI system, you got to train it before it actually works the way you want it to.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of them were good fixes. I think a lot of them were needed. A lot of them were but a lot of them were just kind of quality of life fixes and bug fixes. So I'm good with it. It's a good patch.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're adding in some more venue music songs. I mean, I will never hear them because I have to mute them because I stream. But for those people who don't stream,
technically you don't have to because they're not. So what you have to mute is the in-game songs, but the Enter Sandman if you're playing as Virginia Tech, but the menu music because they're marching band covers, you don't have to mute them.
Real quick, I'm gonna go on a rant real quick. Can you put us back on the two people?
Yeah, 1 second.
Real quick. All right. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this once. Video games. If you are putting music in your game, and you are aware that people are going to stream your game, please provide provisional licenses for those who stream your game. So we don't have to mute the frickin' music in the game. If the music is in the game, we should be able to use it as long as we are streaming the game as part of the game. That is incredibly annoying, and in my opinion, it takes away from the quality of the stream if you have to mute the menu music and replace it with random music, whatever you can get a license for, which a lot of times is just random beats that you find online on SoundCloud or on Spotify. We should be able to use the game music. Let us use the game music. Provide a provisional streaming license only when we are streaming the game. Work that out with the artist. I don't care how you do it. Figure it out. I am sick of having to mute the menu music, and if people can't find royalty-free or copyright-free music to play, while they're playing the game, then they're just sitting there with a silent game the majority of the time. Especially on some games, they don't split the audio from game audio and music audio, so they just mute the whole game because the music will cause them to get copyright striked on YouTube. Let's figure that out. So that way we can have a good time. We all just want to have a good time playing your game. Even us streamers, us regular players, we just want to have a good time. Let's fix that. Let's get that together. Let's get our shit together here.
And you want to know the most ridiculous part of all of it? I have not gotten any copyright claims with the football games from EA. Back when I used to stream the wrestling games, I still will randomly get a copyright claim from a video I did back in 2018 on the WWE game not from the bands, but from WWE. Like WWE themselves are copyright claiming people streaming the WWE game. Why? It's free promotion for your game.
Because they want to move forward to the newest and greatest thing. They don't want people to remember the slop they put together back in the past.
It's insane, dude. Like I'll randomly, like a couple weeks ago, I randomly got a copyright claim on a single match that I put up back in like 2017, dude. It was nuts. It's just like whatever. And it's like my channel's not even a monetized channel. What the are you copyrighting?
It's because you're getting close to monetization that they got.
No, I'm not. I've got 200 viewers.
Hey, that's closer than the main channel, the Gamer Sideline. Which, by the way, if you're watching on Kinetik 615 Plays, you should hop over to the Gamer Sideline and subscribe.
Yeah, on Kinetik 615 Plays, I've got 21 subscribers.
Yeah, if you're definitely check out the Gamer Sideline. We do interviews. We do patch update overviews. On Fridays, we do what's called Football Friday, where we talk about the week that just happened, and we make predictions on the next week to come. In regards to NFL and college football, so make sure that you, if you haven't yet, stay up to date on what's going on. Head over and subscribe. Also, if you're on the Gamer Sideline, Inverse, subscribe to get to Kinetik 615 Plays. Usually, he's playing college football on simming games or just straight up playing games against other people and against the AI. So, I mean, if you like watching college football, head over there and subscribe there too and check that out. It's always a fun time.
Yep. So what I do over there on Kinetik 615 Plays, you'll see streams of my league play, whether it's stick leagues or sim leagues. You'll see the videos that we record here as well, where we're talking gaming. And then I also more recently started doing a simulation week by week leading up to the weekend's games for both college and NFL. Now, I'm not doing every team. That would be impossible. But I'm doing for the conference and divisions that I'm a part of in my fandom. So on college football, I am running a week-by-week simulation of every game, slow sim, so you can actually watch the games for every Big Ten team. Currently just finished today the week 3 simulations for all of them. And then I also started last week with the leading up to week 1 with the NFL and NFC North simulation series. So we will see what happens with that. But and then on my normal channel, Kinetik 615, you can find my old gaming streams before I started doing podcasting and sports talk, before I separated my gaming from my sports talk. But you'll find sports podcasts over there, and as well as simulcast streams of when we talk sports here on this channel.
Right.
Also, I would ask everyone not only to visit, like, share, subscribe for the channels, but if you could check the in the description and take some time to look at the GoFundMe link in the description there. Currently going through a lot of issues medically for myself and my mother. We're getting close to what is hopefully some relief financially, but we're still a few months away from that. So any additional support, any contributions, even if it's just as little as $1, $2, whatever, or even if you can't contribute monetarily, take the link, share it out on your own social media. You never know who will see it and who might share it. It only takes one person that's got the ability, the means, and the willingness to help to see it, to change the course of someone's hardship. So if you have time, please take a look at it. I really appreciate it.
And speaking of hardship, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge current events.
Yeah.
There was a tragedy that occurred earlier today. Now, before we talk about it, I want to preface this by saying in no ways are we trying to make a political stance on what happened. We are merely talking as football fans about a football fan. Charlie Kirk. Prayers go out to Charlie Kirk. He was a devout Oregon Ducks fan. He scheduled all of his stuff around the Ducks season, and he didn't end up making it out of what occurred to him today. He was attacked and didn't make it. I guess that would be the best way to put it, so that way YouTube doesn't come at us for it.
Correct.
And like, I want to say this to our fans and even anyone who might see this in the future: there's no reason to attack someone because of words. There's no reason to come at them with deadly force due to the words they speak. I hope that as a people and as a nation, we can be better than that moving forward into the future, especially as a fandom. It's like we, on the sports podcast, we say things that other fandoms don't like, and other fandoms say stuff that we don't like. I think the best practice is for everyone to just kind of like acknowledge the fact that sometimes people say things that you don't like, but there's no reason to be violent about it. So if you could send out your send out your prayers to the Kirk family and show some support, even if you don't agree with his political leanings or anything that he says. Still, it's still a tragedy. It's still someone who was lost due to an unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah, and I'll
So
try not to rant on it. Here's the thing. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care who you vote for. Here we talk sports and gaming, but we're all humans. We're all Americans, and part of what made America so great for so long was that we were able to come together from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different affiliations, beliefs, and have conversations and have debate and have it be civil and be able to agree to disagree and willingness to learn from each other, and to have that open discourse and dialogue. And nobody on either side of any political issue should have to fear to be attacked, and not be able to go home to their families because somebody disagreed with them. Violence should not happen like that, and it is incredibly sad. And to see some of the reactions that people put out on social media is just absolutely disgusting. And again, I don't care which side it's from. I don't care if I agree with that person or not. You got to understand, he was 31 years old. He had a wife. He has two very young children that are never going to see their father again. And not only that, but because he was a public figure, and what happened to him is a public event, a tragedy. They will never be able to move past it for the life of for their entire life. The videos that are out there of what happened, the opinions of what out there that are happened are going to be out there for his children to see for the rest of ever. And people will bring it up all the time to them. They'll never be able to just put it in the past. And that's not something that should ever be celebrated, from either side. So let's do better as a nation, and then just please send your condolences out to the Kirk family.
yeah. And with that, I think that's going to do it for the show today. We do have some things coming up, so make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss them. Specifically for this Friday, when we're doing Football Friday, we're talking week 2 recap and week 3 prediction. Or wait, yeah, and week 3 predictions. So with that, I am Mike, aka LichMax626. You can find me at LichMax626 on both on Twitter, Twitch, and on YouTube. My YouTube link is in the description, where you can find a link to everything else. Also, you can find me over at the Maze Madman Show as the producer for Maze Out Mondays and as the stat boy for post game reactions and on Maze Out Mondays, where I do Lich picks. So, and then you can also find me right here at the Gamer Sideline. Kinetik.
Yeah, and you can find me as always on all social media platforms at Kinetik615. Also, as mentioned before, at Kinetik615 plays, and right here on the Gamer Sideline.
Yeah. So now, before we get out of here, remember, play hard, cheer louder, and go blue.
From joystick dreams to Friday night lights, it's controllers and cleats under podcast mics with Life Max dropping deep like he's throwing a bomb, and Kinetik calling audible, staying calm in the storm. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetik and Life Max, never miss a beat. When the final whistle blows or the credits roll, we're signing off strong. That's how gamers take control. Catch us on the sideline, where legends chill, where the playbooks flip and the passion's real. If you heard the takes, then you know the drill. Till next time, fam, keep it clutch, keep it skill. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetik and Lichmax, never miss a beat. When the headset's off and the lights go low, we'll be back next game, y'all already know. We out.